Good afternoon. So my name is Hsiao-Wei. I work at the Ethereum Foundation Consensus R&D team. So I also from Taiwan, Taipei. Nice to be here. And yeah, so I think I joined the Ethereum Foundation research since 2017. It was a long time. And I want to use this opportunity to introduce the process and the life of Ethereum core protocol R&D contributors, and hopefully to get more builders to build the Ethereum protocol itself altogether.
Fantastic.
So let's start with introduce like what is the protocol upgrade and what is the process of it. So I think basically for the normal cases, there will be like 6 steps of to make a research idea grows into the delivery, the feature on mainnet.
Yeah.
So we can just take the recent EIP, the recent Dencun update, the famous EIP 544, for example. So at very early, I think it was at least 3 or 2 years ago, like my coworker, Dankra Fest, he published an article about the new sharding design. But that time we didn't call it the new sharding. But so the design was originally was more ambitious. And he has many design details in his original post. And then like in 2021, Danny Ryan, he gave this protocol a name because it was created by the Dankra. So we use his prefix, the name of his prefix, to call it Dankshard. And then later, Vitalik called it Danksharding. So that's the start of the Dank rules. And then Danksharding was great, but it has some functionality that it is hard to deliver in the one single developer cycle. So this is Proto Lambda. Didrik, he address the original proposal and make it and edit the blob carrying transaction functionality. So now it is more compatible with the Ethereum existing protocol. Yes, so this is also the start of why we call it proto Danksharding, because generative is created enhanced by Proto Lambda. Okay, and then at East Denver 2 years ago, they started to make it in the specification process. So this is the post of the specification. So we have like 2 different client systems. One is the consensus layer client, and another one is the execution layer client. So this is, for example, it's the consensus layer client, consensus layer protocol implementation, and all the difficult part are in the files. I just didn't list it. And it is too many things to say, like how difficult it was in the development stage. We have like many working groups for networking and for the core protocol, and after multiple weeks of iterations, started to be able to interact all together. Yep. And in the meanwhile, and I mean, the 6 steps are not has to be happen in sequence. It could be in parallel. So the EIP process was also happened. So this is the state flow that described in the EIP 1. So they have to make one idea to be included into the final stage. It has like many status. And we also have the all-core devs call at 2 p.m. UTC every week to keep discussing and if this feature is good or like the future roadmap of it. And then finally, at least at 2022, November, that the EIP was moved to the next stage to be review status. And in the meanwhile, there were like massive work on testing. I think testing is usually the stage that took most of time because like we have like many components to test. You can see that part. So for the one, if you want to run your Ethereum node today, you have to run your execution engine and beacon node. And if you are a validator, you have to run your validator client. So there are so many interrupt work between it. And these are just the list of how many devnets that the Panda Ops DevOps team they work on. Yes, so like there are various of tests here, like the spec test, the statics ones, and also the EVM test, and the sync test, and also for networking test, and the chaos test, like, and more fuzzing work. And finally, we get into the public testnet. Yeah, and also there were some other components are not listing the core components, but they are required for, they are like needed by the validators, like AEVs. Right, and finally, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, like we finally delivered the Denkun, and the EIP 4844 is included. So what I said about the 4844 governance, it was a very easy and simple case because everyone wanted to scale the Ethereum layer 1. So, but however, there are some other cases that and tools that we can use for some decision that it was hard to make. The first one is the main one is carbon vote. So, carbon vote is a mechanism for, like, back to 2016, it was the DAO fork time, and it's a mechanism for the ETH holder to vote on chain. So, and that time that this is the result of DAO fork. Their preference. And then later in 2017, carbon vote was also used to determine like what is the size of the insurance reductions. So I think it was the EIP 186 that they decided to reduce the insurance, but they didn't know like how much is reasonable. So they used the carbon vote to decide the size of it. So carbon vote is a very useful tool for difficult questions, but there are also the risks in it. Like, for example, like the participation rate, like does it reflect our consensus? Because it is usually hard to ask like most stakeholders to vote on chain. And also like they will question about the voting rights. Like there are it's possible that there are other different forms of the stakeholders rather than just the Ether holders. Yeah, so I think that will bring us a topic to hack maybe in this hackathon is is there any better framework to do search decision maker? I mean, I think carbon vote is good because it's not tightly coupled with Ethereum protocol itself. It's not the online DAO voting. I mean, but yeah, and about the voting rights, you can think about like POPs that could be used as the proof of like you have the right to vote, or like to pass some more decoupled things, not just the ETH holders. Okay. Also, it's possible that one EIP was discussed over and over again, and getting very, very close to get included. However, it didn't get accepted eventually. So I think it will like it became an old joke. So the first one is the DAO soft fork. So because due to the DOS attack vectors, it is hard to use soft fork to solve it. So it turns out the client thinks they have to use a hard fork by that time. And another one is the potpal. Who remember potpal? Okay, I see some people here. Yeah, so it was an ASIC-resistant mining algorithm. But however, at that time, that Ethereum was transitioned from the POW to POS. So it took too much effort to audit and to verify everything while we are transitioning to the proof of stake. Right, so next thing I want to talk about is like how to be a contributor. So I think we now have more than 20 teams working daily on the Ethereum protocol R&D. So the process of this protocol upgrades like big spaceships that doing the space colonization. So it's a big project. It requires multiple entities and teams to reach consensus. And also we have very daily maintenance work to do. So this is the geographical distribution of the developers that work in the merge. So we can see that like only 20% from the US, which is it's good. I mean, it's much better than we could expect it. And then you can see how distribution that we have, like thanks to the modern technology, we can all work remotely. And this is quite like a life cycle of the code devs. It's not always fun. Sometimes you have to do some tiring job of like to maintain the mainnet be healthy enough. So like so Ethereum roadmap is getting stable year by year. But we still have many things to do in the at least next 5 years. And after the many years, the size of the scope of the core protocol contributions grows a lot. And now we ask ourselves, like, and also ask the community, like, how do we rebalance the financial incentives to make Ethereum protocol work economically rational on the risk-adjusted basis? So there are many areas that to do to work on and collaborate together. Okay, so like the core development, the client development, and also the research side and other testing and security, any mixed size. So this is a big project, needs many good people. And we want to have the tier 1 researchers and developers to join. While it is hard to be competitive with other like DeFi projects. So that's the origin of the Protocol Guild. So Protocol Guild is a collection of the Ethereum contributors, and it also an incentive mechanism to help contributor to get a sustainable fund. So if you are interested, you can check the websites. So I mean, core development is fun, it's interesting, and it also could be sustainable, funded with other mechanisms. And if you want to get involved in this area, I would recommend that you can check out these 3 areas. First is the ETH Research Forum. It's the research center of the Ethereum R&D, and also the ETH Magician Forums. It will get you the most latest updates of the EIPs. And the GitHub, I think there are so many GitHub projects of the clientings, and you can try to find one you like the language you usually use to hack, and try to stick some good first issues there. And I think most clients have the Discord website for you to interact with them online. So mostly they are very helpful. And then we will also have some onboarding programs that you can check out. I think the most active one is the Ethereum Protocol Fellowship Program. You can find it on the Ethereum Foundation blog. Okay, thank you for listening.